I'm sure you're all aware of, and I'm sure many of you have used, the lean startup approach. The basic idea here is to start with that idea, that potential solution, to build a minimal version of it as quickly as possible, an MVP or minimum viable product, to launch that to your actual customers in the market as quickly as you can, and to gather data. And this is sort of a loop, and this is a time-tested, proven approach to making sure that you're not spending too much time on ideas that aren't likely to be successful. But this approach, good as it is, has its own issues. The key one is that it always takes way longer to build things than we think it's going to. I've worked with a ton of startup teams, technology teams, and this conversation of, oh, we'll build an MVP, it'll be ready in a couple of weeks. That happens all the time, but more often than not, a couple of weeks turns into a couple of months or even potentially longer as you realize the complexities of building something that can stand up in the real world on its own, making sure that it's reliable, that it works, that there are no bugs, that you thought through all the edge cases, etc. Then when you go to launch it, even though it's sort of this test launch, you still run into a lot of risks, a lot of potential issues, because if somebody sees it and it's confusing or it causes a problem or it rubs them the wrong way, you might end up destroying the trust that you have or damaging your brand or losing customers. So that's a bit of an issue. And then you've done all this work, you've built this MVP, you've launched it, and this data that you're focused on collecting can be sort of hard to interpret because it can tell you, for example, how many people are clicking on a button or which pages they're going to, but it can't tell you why. It can't tell you what they were thinking while they were clicking that button. And it certainly can't tell you anything about all the people who have never even heard of your company or your product or your business and don't know that you exist, but could actually be really good customers. Fortunately, there's a better approach, a way to really take this lean startup loop that we all know so well and shrink it down to just the essential activities and elements that you need to do to really learn whether you're on the right track with a given idea before you commit time, resources, energy, etc. to making it happen. And that's what the design sprint is all about. So to answer the question, when to run a design sprint, I think at the start of every big project, when you're at the precipice of something new, and you're saying, wow, the stakes are high, this is going to take us a long time to get right, this is going to represent weeks and months and years of our lives as humans, and we don't know how it's going to turn out, let's do a design sprint and let's be sure.